Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 184 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian. Today we have our players, most of them, same as always. We have Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. Once again, I will be controlling the paper cutout that is Fen, and whatever he does is canon, and that's just what it is. While in my control, whatever happens, happens. Last session, while in the safety of Dem Woods with an assumed apocalypse on the horizon, you guys have a wedding. Preparations are made, fun is had, bonds are built and broken, and Nyx and Russ get married for the second time. But this time with other people around and not spurred on by the Nyx's imminent demise. This time, just because they want to. And everyone is invited. Some people hold title and position in this wedding. It's just a joyous occasion. And people have a good time. And you get to experience a new culture and have, again, for the fifth time, have a good time. Because sometimes you get to do that. And really, I'm sure a bunch of other things happened. But I think the wedding is the big thing that occurred while everybody still went around with their like downtime business and taking care of things on the sides. But we'll start there with the sun having set and stars high in the sky on a very chilly evening. Is there anything before bed?
As we are headed back from setting or tearing down the wedding, Roshan would like to use his only spell slot to do some bird time, and I think he will turn into a snowy owl because he's afraid to go far and fly around. So he's just gonna perch in a tree and look owly.
Okay. You get to spend an hour chilling in a tree as an owl. Anything else before that supposed long rest around the corner on the horizon? Okay. Should really pull up Fenn's character sheet, or I could just, wing it. But with that, people eventually find where they're going to sleep for the night, and the night goes by without problem, without interference. You all wake up the next day to another day of downtime, a timeline on the horizon of possibly meeting Gunhild in Jarlsbecker. She did not respond to your message with an affirmative. You only received a fuck you. Because, honestly, I mean,
hey, that's better than nothing.
is better than nothing. Is the thing probably for Gunhild? That could have been worse. As Gunhild had attempted to contact you days ago, and you basically were like, sorry, we're busy. So the fact that you received a response, honestly, probably pretty good. Here's hoping. Because Gunhild is currently, after some sendings, you are pretty sure the only person who can give you information without you guys having to go like start hunting and finding it yourselves. Where would you start? I believe in you. But Gunhild was actively doing that for you. So hopefully a relationship can be mended back to she wants you dead, and not further than that. Because I don't think that'll change. But the next morning has arrived. It is downtime. Is there anything for morning-centric activities?
I mean, before Roshan goes and runs off to the workshop, I guess Nana would like to quick check in with him and see how he's feeling this morning. Any more magically inclined or what have you?
Good question. I think he would when he woke up, kind of survey for any signs of the shadow and then reach for his magic and see how much he's got.
Yesterday your magic seemed like a breeze on your skin, and now it is something you can at least feel like you can pull in some way, but it is still distant and foggy. Cantrips are now just that. They are cantrips. You can
Oh,
use them
good.
at will. You
Hooray.
now have 2 leveled spell slots that you can use today, and you have bard abilities back.
Hey.
But
Cool.
but lineage abilities and warlock abilities not available.
And no shadows.
Give me what kind of check would you like to make to try and locate the shadow? Eli.
It's probably insight, because I think the way that Roshan finds the shadow is um, short meditative, deep breath, and then reaching out to where he feels another presence that might.
Okay. Um,
Did
I
I?
always wait. You paused a little, but the thing is, that happens to me now constantly where you guys just sort of pause, and so I wasn't sure if it was like just a me thing, so I was waiting. Uh, but
I also
you
saw
look
it, but
you look inwards and try and find the shadow. Um, it's like it's like remembering something. It's like remembering something important. It has a place in your mind, it has a place in muscle memory and your senses. You can smell it, you can taste it, you can almost picture it in your mind if you think about it hard enough. There is something there. There is something meant to take up space, but it currently is not.
Well, um,
Will. I use
still,
polymorph twice and I leave. I fly away for 2 hours.
Weep whoop.
I'm still pretty limited.
Oh no.
Don't have access to some things, but getting there.
Okay.
Maybe by tomorrow, things will be okay.
Good. Good. Do you happen to have sending back in or no?
Yeah, I could do that. Um, do you need to talk to somebody? Do you want to
Not
just
right now. I don't know. It's let's not waste any spell slots, any resources until we actually know where we'd like to direct them. But if nothing else, it's good to know that we've got communication to a degree, and we won't have to necessarily tax your sister over much. She wasn't. She didn't seem
Oh, if you can
well.
mute yourself, Nathan, for us. Ooh, it's fine. As you were.
She didn't seem especially well after passing us just a couple of sendings the other night. I don't want to tax the either of you overly much at the moment, but
yeah, if you need it, if we need it, I can probably handle it. Uh, unless God's forbid something happens and I don't know.
mm.
But
Well,
I think we're safe here.
I think definitely. No doubt about that. Actually, I'm glad. Well, at least until we know exactly what we'd like to make use of our resources on, hold on to that. But I'm glad that you're feeling is more yourself an apt way to call it.
I That is a loaded question. Um, I could bore you and tell you all of the ways that that is a loaded question, but I guess maybe um, it's feeling better. So I think Roshan then turns to is the ladle around?
Howdy, I'm paying attention. Eat ladle is findable. You're in her house.
Um,
Mm.
Roshan would turn to her and he'll rub his almost bald head that's got like an eighth inch of hair after just several days of growth.
Peach fuzz.
And he's going to ask a very odd question, maybe, and say, is there anywhere around town that I could find something to bleach my hair or maybe dye it?
Sorry, I did that thing again. I was waiting for it to unpause for me.
Ah.
Anytime you guys watch me just stare into the void after you guys stop talking, I'm just waiting for it to come back because I don't know if you'll be able to hear me or not. Behind the scenes, I don't know what's wrong with my laptop. Uh, behind the scenes, I don't know what's wrong with my shit. Uh, she thinks for a second. Um, I'm sure there's somebody who could help you. A lot of the times, people, if they're interested in bleaching their hair, usually prep something for themselves. There's not exactly a person who does that. There could be somebody who has some bleaching liquid stored away, but not off the top of my head. Usually people just make it.
That's probably fair. Okay. Thanks.
There
Uh,
a certain color you're going for now?
just something different. Uh, if there's something available, let me know if you hear anything. And Roshan will pack up an extra plate of food, and uh, he says, "I'm gonna go see if Rose has had breakfast yet."
Let us know how she's doing, okay?
Will do.
Tell her hi.
And Roshan heads out the door with extra breakfast.
And I can only assume, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, throughout breakfast, it is real giggly smiley Russ looking across like over at Nyx, and Nyx giggly smiley looking over at Russ, and they just keep kind of like glancing at each other, all giggly smiley like you know, normal stuff.
Marital bliss.
Super normal.
But yeah,
Super.
but Roshan heads out the door, and Nyx, you can tell like Russ is like, you see that he's like thinking now, like he's thinking like hard about something.
Okay. Check on that in a second. Nick's gonna stand up and just immediately move Nana's hair up and look at these scratches real fast. Without
Okay.
hesitation.
Oh, hi.
So, where are these from? Let's. These
Uh,
normal.
You pull up Nana's hair
Mhm.
and see, let's see if we can get this to work.
See
shall
a
we?
white piece of paper.
Yeah, it's just there's a notebook on the neck.
Nana's so
Um,
pale.
Look at her.
So pale. Yeah, look at her.
There we go. There
Oh, there
are
it is.
three red scratches on her neck.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay.
It sort of has like a, you can roll medicine to see if anything
Yeah.
stands out to you.
Probably 26.
Yeah, I'd hope
It
so.
looks like, because it doesn't look like something went like this. It doesn't look like
No.
an animal scratch. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't. the thing is, it doesn't look like a normal scratch to you. Like there's something about the texture of like the skin is almost burn adjacent. And it looks like three somethings made like, because you can't imagine the geometry of like a paw or a twig doing this in some way.
Like
So
three
it's
separate things
three
scratched her
separate
at the
things.
same time.
Yes, that's what it looks like. But it doesn't look like, and it also doesn't look like an animal injury by the way the injury looks, and it doesn't look like a stick by the way it looks. It's a very strange, starting to like keloid kind of injury, but with like a burn texture to it.
Burn yourself on your neck?
Burn.
Yeah, it's like three different things at one time, but also a burn, not a scratch.
On the back of my neck.
Yep, that's what it looks like. I'm gonna go sit back
can't-
down.
I can't remember anything really specific. I guess the only time I can remember really distinctly anything coming in contact with the back of my neck around there would have been in the brushwood, shortly before you arrived, when Roshan saved my life. Almost ran face first into.
So, Roshan burned your neck?
I'm not.
Okay.
It wasn't him. It wasn't. He didn't run forward or anything. I think it was his shadow.
I can keep an
I
eye
would
on it
believe
if you
that.
want. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, it was right after that he lost all of his magic, so I think probably he went to a good length to save my skin, so. I'd like to help get him back on the mend if I can. I don't know how.
Hopefully we'll find something out.
I don't suppose. You all haven't got anybody who's like. I guess your parents would probably be the primary conflict mediators.
You're
For
pretty
the
good at that.
town?
Yeah.
You hear the ladle snort a little bit as she makes tea.
Interpersonal relations specialists, I guess. Folks who know folks, and I don't know.
Or who would you?
You could talk to her. She's right there.
No, I know. It's just Nana will kind of turn towards the ladle and ask, I won't say I've tried incredibly successfully or incredibly well, but I've tried to figure out how I can lend Roshan a hand. He seems to speak pretty readily with you. Have you any idea maybe if there's anything we might be able to help him with or provide?
Well, let me start with that I am sure there are elements, because I'm sure there are elements of intrapersonal public relationship reasons for why people are feeling certain ways or why things are happening. I am not an expert on magic to the degree of the issue you are presenting to me, as it seems more like a magical problem. Do I think that you running over and getting Roshan to fully open up to you and solving all of Roshan's personal problems right now will change that currently? I don't know. It might. Maybe a hug gives you back magic. But a hug usually, for me, makes me feel better. It makes it so that sometimes I can think more clearly. I can calm my mind. I know that somebody is there supporting me. Does it fuel my magic? No. But it does give me somebody that I can focus my magics on. It gives sometimes my magic purpose. But as cute and wonderful as it would be, my magic is not fueled by love and camaraderie. It is just, it is still an integral part of it. But that's just mine. And I give it. But hugs and support are very nice.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's the obvious things, I think, that probably go unexamined the longest. Thank you, really.
Of course. That's why they pay me the big bucks. And she begins to steep the tea.
In a castle like this, I can tell.
Well, maybe it doesn't pay. Not monetarily, at least, but you get a fancy title out of it, I suppose.
How did you choose yours?
Well, ladles give. Ladles take from somewhere and they give to something else. If a ladle held on to what it acquired, it would be a strange little bowl. And I knew that I wanted to provide. And that is a very difficult thing to do. And this is not to toot my own horn, even if I do a bit. But providing is very difficult because as a ladle, you have to take from somewhere. And you have to learn to not always take from yourself. You have to find a different source. And sometimes it's unavoidable that I still, to this day, take from myself and give. But I can and return to myself. It is a way to be a giver. It is a way to provide. That's how I picked the name.
It's beautiful. And from what I can tell, you do it very, very well.
I appreciate that. I know. And she smiles.
How do you figure out what it is you're supposed to do? What niche to fill, what you can provide?
Well, it's a lot easier if you know the person. If you've spent a lot of time with someone, it's a lot harder on occasion to approach a stranger and know what they need. Though some people broadcast their feelings and needs louder than others, especially people who do not broadcast what they need and want from others. because it manifests in a different way, which is noticeable to me. That does not mean I know what they need, though. I know that they are needing something, and in most scenarios, I can only give what people ask for. I cannot survey a person and read them as a recipe and know exactly what I need to say and do and provide and give, and I'm going to fix them immediately.
Hmm.
There has to be effort on both ends. Somebody has to tell me, even if it's just a little bit, of what they need. And if they can't do that, the only thing I can give is my presence, my love and my care. And if they do not want those things will always be available, but I would not force it upon them. And if they come to me and they talk to me, usually they tell me what they need.
I appreciate that.
Of course. Sorry, did my son just try to slap you? What was that?
Goodness.
He keeps coming at me with the claws. I'm like, please
Did-
stop.
Domestic
son-
violence on this.
Wow,
On the
this
stream?
guy. I'm gonna have to
Wow.
come give him some stern words. Um,
How dare.
is there anything else from team at the house?
I think since I saw that he was thinking about something, Nyx would, during this conversation, have gone over to see what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, be wanting to go after him? Like, what were we thinking
Oh.
about?
No, that'd be weird, I think. So
Mhm.
you can see he like struggles with a word and then says Rose.
Hmm.
Rose contacted me and wanted me to come over. You're welcome to come if you want to.
Mhm.
I wasn't told people couldn't come. But now I'm not sure what to do now that I know Roshan is going there. Not like I'm trying to avoid him, but I feel like it might be a separate thing.
Probably.
So and I don't have a way to communicate back with her. So do I just wait? And
We could go loiter, like just be outside.
that's
You
true,
know.
we could go loiter.
Even
I
if
have
it
nothing else to do.
stops.
It's true. All right,
Good. Why not?
let's
I'll
go
bring
loiter.
bring my stuff with.
Sure. And you know I'd help you with that if I thought I even possibly could.
Mhm.
But I can carry them. So he'll help you.
I have no
carry.
idea what I'm looking for. So
Well, I'll hold them and try not to look too hard at them, honestly. I feel like I've learned too much. Anywho, he'll pick up books. And the two of you head out. Nana and Keld, anything of note for the morning shift?
I think maybe like Nana would assist Keld if he's like doing some like tidying up from the wedding the night before. There might still be dishes unwashed or something. It was a big celebration, so I don't know. There might still be some stuff needs doing. Nana can help with that for a bit with Keld.
Sounds good.
Wasn't sure if that was something Keld was intending for the morning, but it sounds like a Keld activity the morning after
does.
a big celebration.
Does sound very Keld-like. I think other than that, he'll probably find some time to just ponder his new hand.
Yep.
I mean, Nana might at least ask him if it feels okay. It's not hurting him or anything.
Feels okay. Haven't
You
had any
can-
issues yet.
You can feel with it as well?
Can I feel?
What are you going to touch?
Is-
Hmm. Actually, you know what? Let's try to touch some hot water.
Okay, we're washing dishes.
Yeah.
We got some hot water here.
Yeah, you turn up you turn up the heat on the nozzle in the
Oh, yeah.
sink.
Mm,
Good job, you did it.
Cold water.
yeah.
You can go
Cold
like
is
you
palpable.
you
I
can
guess I could
there
find a flame. I don't know.
you could find a
Mm.
flame, you could stick your hand in the snow. If you're looking for like a temperature thing, you could pick one of like those. So would you prefer a little flame or the snow?
I'll just do a little flame.
Okay.
Careful with that wood.
You hold your hand a bit awkwardly close to the flame inside of a little lantern that you open up. What a strange sensation. And you can use the word sensation because you can feel something. It's not exactly pain. It's pain adjacent. It is as if the little neurons in your brain just can't connect the right way to identify it. It's like when you eat something spicy and the tongue identifies pain with spicy. When honestly, it need not do that. It just has the brain has no other way to think about it. This is hot, ergo it is pain. So there's a part of your brain that is trying to identify as like this is pain. You should pull away. This is
Mm.
bad.
Mm.
But it is more adjacent to the feeling of pins and needles kind of running up into your mind. It is the idea of pins and needles. But you're not exactly getting warmth. You're not exactly feeling the sensation of temperature. And it is not exactly pain, but you can feel.
I guess I'll hold it there a little longer than he probably normally would to see if it is
Careful.
affected.
It's not catching.
Go
Like
ahead and
skin?
take go ahead and take 1 point of fire damage
Ooh.
as you hold your hand way too close to a flame. You begin to see sort of, I don't want to call it charring, but like blackening. There
Mhm.
is like a bit of darkening to the hand as like soot begins to accumulate on it. You don't think this is maybe the best thing for it, but it is not like catching, and it is not a very aggressive reaction to this stimuli.
Okay, he'll slowly pull it away.
How does it feel?
Definitely a little different.
Didn't look like it hurt very much. You almost had your hand right in the flame.
Yeah, I was anticipating it would hurt a lot more than that. Huh.
Yeah, Keld, you watch just like these, like the twisting insides of this hand move around. It kind of has the visual of like worms in the dirt, the way that like the uh the vines, the foliage, the pieces of your, I guess, flesh now move inside, because you can see through it. You can look through your hand and you can see inside of it, and it is
Did
just
anything
a
squirm
squirming
any
mass.
faster or
I would say watching it, yes. It seemed as if the hand was like, there was reaction from the inside of the hand as you look at it now and kind of
Interesting.
examine it. It was not a fan. It
Yeah.
seemed to want to react. It wanted to do something. It was being attacked.
But you didn't get to feel it then. Much.
You knew that something, you could tell mentally, physically, emotionally that something bad was happening to you. It just didn't feel exactly like how it would have, how it used to.
I'll try to tell that to Nix.
Mm. That's strange. Well,
Yeah.
and so long as it still works for you, and so long as it doesn't feel painful or anything at the connecting point, then I suppose it's all for the better.
Yeah. I think we'll just time will tell.
Well, I hope that it proves to be a boon for us.
Me too. Well, thanks for helping with dishes.
Yeah, of course. I've been thinking I've been thinking about maybe talking with Nyx about, I don't know, a few things, but she and Russ have gone over to Rose's. Do you think it's better if I just wait here for them to get back? I certainly don't want to interrupt private business of theirs.
I mean, I'm honestly not sure. Might be best to give them a little bit of space.
Maybe. Of course,
This is the only place they're probably going to get it, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I might just take a wide loop by just to see everything's okay, and if everything's fine, make my way back and find something to occupy my time.
Sounds good.
I will unmute then.
I
What does
suppose.
Nana do? The
Sorry.
host, it said the host would like you to unmute. Well,
Burp.
then I will.
All right. Nana's just gonna go take a lap around the village and take a look over near where Rose was staying, just to give a quick check. And, she doesn't expect to see, fireballs flying or, screams echoing from the house or anything. She's just gonna take a loop by, though, just to make sure everything seems okay. And if it does, then she will proceed on to probably the stables for a bit.
Okay, you begin to make your way towards Rose's place. Roshan, what are we doing?
I think Roshan would politely knock on the door to Blue Hat James with a plate of food in hand.
You knock and you hear a flurry of coughs. And she's ooh, I'm echoing through you, Josh. That happens sometimes. I don't know why. I don't make the rules. But I don't make the rules here. I do my best. But you make your way, you hear coughing and it sounds like somebody moving out of, or moving away from a position or standing up or getting up. It is the sound of somebody moving. And you hear, give me half a second. Give me half a second.
Roshan will not burst inside and will give her the time she needs.
Okay. About it's less than a minute. Less than a minute passes, and you watch the handle turn, and the door opens of its own accord, and Rose is in the room. Hey,
Roshan will hand over the plate of food and ask, "Do you want to bleach my hair?"
she sits down and starts eating. You have piss, and kind of like smirks up at you.
No. Um, so yeah, fine. We'll have to find some, but I'm sure that can be found.
God, where are we gonna find piss? And she just kind of keeps eating.
In this economy?
This
Um,
low piss economy. How could we ever?
I don't know. I had their coffee for breakfast, so
Um, um, I mean, I feel like it'll take a long time to ferment it, but I guess we could figure something out.
I yeah, hopefully we can figure something out. And then Roshan will just kind of start thinking of a way to figure it out. Is there a role associated with making bleach?
Hey, listen. I'm gonna be the most honest I've ever been in a game. Uh, the physical the answer to bleach hair is piss. Do I, Jillian, in this moment have an answer to make that easier, faster, or stronger? No, but you can probably convince me of something. But so there's no role. It's if you can think of something or Rose can think of something. But I, Jillian, do not have an answer to be like, you rolled high enough on the piss check. This is how you ferment the piss faster.
I don't think that vinegar helps. I know that we have that jar that can make a bunch of stuff, and vinegar
Yeah,
is one.
pour a
But
bunch of vinegar into the piss and see if it works.
Yeah,
There's only one way
I
to
think,
find out.
I think this is probably something that Roshan's mom and aunt did on occasion. So he would know, and I think it would probably involve like a little bit of magic, a little bit of heat, and then some extra ingredients. Because I hate saying this out loud, but if you just put piss in your hair, it's all gonna fall out. So you need something to make it a little bit thicker.
If you put just piss in your hair, it's all gonna fall out, boys. And isn't that a metaphor for life?
Is that the name of the episode?
Yeah, that's the name of the episode. It's a Fallout Boy title. It's very fun. It's my favorite Fallout Boy song. Uh, um, yeah, you're welcome to start pondering how to magically make the piss better for and like it's more of like in a timely manner is the thing.
Yeah.
So that's more of the issue at hand is do it quickly. You are on a time limit. So yeah, you're welcome to stick around. Rose is eating. Roll me insight, please.
22.
Okay, I have to look at. Okay. All right, you hang out with Rose. And
Cool.
she eats breakfast. I will say you do notice she does seem sluggish, like a little sluggish.
If that's the case, then I think he probably would ask and just say, "You sure there isn't anything you need help with that cough?" I mean, obviously you're wearing glamour, but I can't imagine you look this great in the morning.
Oh. I'm attempting to figure something out. I didn't want to make you feel shitty about this, but I had made at least like a temporary medicine for myself. It it doesn't treat it, but it keeps a lot of the symptoms at bay. I don't have that here. So I'm worse than I've been in a minute, in a while. But I'm gonna try something out to see if it works. Uh, but I'll go back soon enough, and then I'll be better.
Have you gotten anyone's help with this?
Yes. Um, maybe not as many people as you would probably like. But uh, there
Well,
is um, uh,
we've we've made some foolish decisions, and those foolish decisions have borne fruit, and we might be on Calendula's good side. And I know his stores are just filled with herbal garbage. It's a glorified plant store. But um, do you want to see if we can get you on his list? Do you think he could help? They could help?
I I know what's wrong with me, and I am very aware that Calendula is a very talented healer. Um, Even if they hide behind just a shop of scents and ointments. But no doctor is going to be able to fix me.
Okay, well, I guess I don't want to try and pry it out of you, but I want. It sucks not helping.
I worry that if I explain fully what's wrong and what I think you can do to help in this moment, in this exact moment, it is going to make things worse for you because you're not going to be able to do anything right now. And I think it's going to distract you from the things that are important.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, sorry I got you into this mess.
Well, only that part. Only the being away from my life-saving medicine part. And she smirks.
Yeah. Um, and then I think Roshan, a total non sequitur, Roshan just blurts out, "You were there on the mountain that day, weren't you?"
She looks at you. Nix and Russ, you're sitting on like a log bench a bit away, and you see like Russ like pop up a little bit. All right, I'm supposed to meander closer. I don't need to come in. but I'm supposed to be within, you know,
Like knocking distance to be like, we're
yeah,
here. Yeah.
like a solid knocking distance so we can move closer.
Okay. Great. Can do that. It's like standing on the steps.
Yeah, the two of you start making your way closer. Rose looks over to Roshan. I was.
And then I think that's all he needs, and turns back to his notes where he's written a list of supplies that he might find around town for this hair dye situation or this bleach situation, and says, I guess I can go find some of these things.
Sure, I'll help when you get back. Don't be startled by Russ and Nyx literally right outside.
Roshan looks to the door and then looks to a window that he might escape from, and then goes to the door and just like opens it quietly, nods at them, and then I think I think he'll turn around and ask before he gets too far away. Nyx, is there anyone around town who deals in, I don't know, just ingredients, alchemy supplies? Just the basics.
Think about it. What do you need it for? You might have to like go to a bunch of different places.
That's okay. I just need this short list of things. For some reason, my brain says baking soda is on it. And I don't know if that exists, but Roshan will just list a couple things, and
Fantasy baking soda.
Hey, listen,
Fantasy
baking
baking
soda is
soda.
now canon if it wasn't before.
I also need some fantasy piss.
Yeah, it has to be fantasy. Any piss from here is
Yeah.
fantasy piss, so
Yeah, for sure.
you're in luck.
Yeah. I'll give him a list of places he can go
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, you give him the general store, you tell him about Tish who has plants, like it's there's a few places you could head to.
Most people
if you
have
were so
baking
inclined.
soda for baking. And
Yeah, there's a baker
knock
in
on a
town.
door.
Yeah, ask for a teaspoon of baking soda from
He'd
your
have
neighbor.
to give you a big teaspoon of
Go to-
baking
He's
go
like,
see the
this is a
giant."
teaspoon. Yep. Roshan gets his info. You kind of point out like directions of where certain people like live or where businesses are. And Roshan, you were able to start going hunting for the ingredients to piss bleach. Every time somebody says piss in this episode, mostly me, because it's me saying it. It's me who keeps saying it.
Take
you
a
can take
drink.
a shot. It's my request. It's specifically my request that you're shitty by intermission.
You gotta get pissed when Jillian says piss.
We have to restart after intermission because none of us have drinks right now.
I'll do soda.
Oh
shit.
man.
Sorry,
I've
you
got
guys,
Gatorade, but that's too
and
responsible.
it's against the rules for you guys to get too litty with me. So
Aw.
really, it's just for my mom. Lisa, if that's you, shots on us. Honestly, and with that, just a little early, I think we'll go ahead and take our break. Um, Thank you for being here and listening to me talk about piss for a really long time. So if you still have the stomach for it, you can go get a snack and a drink. And we will
am I
be
hungry.
back in 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 184 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. People are going around town, accomplishing tasks and talking to each other and just, I guess, getting to enjoy downtime as best as they can. I was trying really hard not to be like, and we're looking for piss. But we're gonna do the Nordic tradition of piss bleaching hair. So I'm sure somebody could correct me in the comments that that's fake or something. But it's canon in this world. If it's not canon in the real world, it's canon in my world, baby.
Got him on it.
Fantasy piss is fantasy
Sorry.
bleach.
That's the rules. That's the first thing I said when I made this campaign, and everybody agreed to it. So it's too late. But Roshan goes off to go find ingredients, and Nyx and now awkwardly standing kind of not close, but not far to the entrance of where Rose is staying. And she sort of like turns around and walks back in, but doesn't close the door. And Russ heads
We
in
gotta
with
go
you.
in.
He's like, well, that's an invite. And that's how you learn in that moment that he is not a vampire unless he was invited in earlier. But both of you walk in. You're just like, you take a mental note if that was a problem that you had.
Not a
Uh,
vampire. Got it.
Good to know. I feel like that should have been in the wedding vows if it was. But you make your way in. Rose kind of goes from like, you could see she was like standing and watching Roshan leave, and you just watch like her shoulders sink and just like she kind of gives in like to the weight of her body and like goes over and like opens a chest and she doesn't have a lot of things. You see like a couple things like there's some extra blankets in there. But she pulls out something wrapped in fabric and sets it down on the table and looks at Russ. Okay. And she like flicks her fingers and the door closes and locks. Hey, Nyx, you're welcome to stay if you want. Just I'd prefer you not talk about this.
Got it.
Okay. So I was able to make a medicine at home that is able to help me, but a lot of the materials are kind of hard to come by, and it is very magically charged. And I don't have access to that here, so I need a boost. And I think Russ is my best choice. And Russ seems confused by that. You can see how it's like, I need a magical boost. Russ, you're up. He seems slightly like, okay. He doesn't say no, but he's like, sure, okay. She opens this container and it looks like she used a quill to create something akin to like it's a janky little syringe with the thickness of a quill. And it looks rigged up to kind of like open the skin and then have something like poured into it or forced into it. And she looks at Russ. I can't get it to go into the skin where I need it to. I need you to magically charge it. I need you to use your energy that you harness when imbuing a weapon with power, something that makes it stronger, so that it can actually be inserted into my skin so it can put the medicine in. And Russ looks like he is focusing harder maybe than he has ever focused in his life. Like he wants to not fuck this up so desperately. And he says, all right, no problem. I honestly don't do that very often, but it's not hard to do. Yeah. Okay. And Nix, you watch as she like kind of shrugs off her cloak and takes off her shirt and is still wearing her cloak and shirt. So you're very aware that she is glamored in some way, and it includes her clothing. But you watch her take off her cloak and like fold it up and place it down, and the same with her shirt. Okay. And she turns around and you see she's holding her arms up a bit like she's covering herself, even though there is nothing visible. And she turns away. I need you to put it here. And she like points at her back, which looks still clothed, still fabricked, and points kind of right below the nape of her neck. I need you to do that there. And she reaches into her pocket and hands over what looks like just like the tiniest little vial with just this deep ichor inside of it. And when it's there, just pour it in. You're gonna have to hold it there for a minute. And you could see she like taking like steadying breaths, and goes and like braces her hand against the wall and begins to grip it very, very tightly. Russ kind of like focus up and like looks at you for a moment.
Want my help?
I don't know what you're able to do to help, but if you did know what to do to help, that would be nice. But
At least do the pouring in part.
yeah, you
Yeah.
you do that. You do that part.
Got it.
And she like glances back. Hey, if we pussyfoot around, this isn't gonna work. And fast better than slow.
Mm.
Okay. All right. And he picks up the syringe and now looks at this like this quill end and kind of there's like a little shudder. All right. And you watch as a soft light slowly makes its way up the quill and around, shimmering very soft and like an elegant energy. A shimmering gold. And with all the force this man can muster, he pulls back and slams the quill into the nape of her neck. 1 second. I get to roll these bad days. So you... Rose
Oh.
screams. Immediately screams. And Roshan, this is going to be a luck check, baby. Because you're not the furthest away. But never mind, you're the furthest away. Damn. You're so
Oh.
far. You hear something, you're
What?
like, huh?
What about? I don't know if the timing works out. Would Nana be outside, or is she probably still helping Keld inside?
You're welcome to roll a luck check. It's going to be a very high luck check, though.
Understood.
Because that time is a little wobbly.
Yeah.
Like a pretty decently high number, but still
Well,
possible.
it is a 15 on the dice.
Okay, I was mentally thinking a 17. So
I get it. Okay.
You are
Okay.
not within range to hear this.
Understood.
Rose screams and then immediately like pulls her other arm up and like muffles herself with it. And you watch the glamour shimmer and shake. She is unable to maintain her glamour and it slips. And you can see what looks like as if she had fallen into an oil spill. Her skin is covered in a dark ichor that does not like, there is some that is even with the skin, but in some places it looks risen, emboldened. It is covering, I would say, nearly half of her body. You can see just this this darkness covering her, and you can see in some spots where pieces of it resemble the markings on Roshan. But it is as if they have bled out and are consuming now massive portions of skin. And you watch them roil, physically move on her body when this thing makes impact. And you see them like stretch a bit and move before it takes her a moment and she pulls the glamour back up. So that's a wasted spell slot on my end. That's a wasted spell slot for me. But Russ looks to you.
Yeah, I'll go to pour it in as soon as it's
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be.
And you see that like she begins to like I think just instinct kicks in, and there's like the need to like fight back or try to move, and Russ has to like reach and like kind of like grab above the nape of her neck and like hold her in place, or this is going to dislodge or cause damage to her spine or something. He's like, you have to stay still, and like holds her while you pour this into the quill syringe. And you can hear Russ softly counting for 60 seconds. And then pulls the quill back and immediately places his hand onto the nape of her neck and is going to use lay on hands. And he'll he's gonna give
We love
5
lay on hands. We love a lay on hands
to
in this house.
to heal the injury, and if there is something else there. Rose straightens up and like kind of like wipes sweat from her brow. Thanks.
I'll grab her cloak and stuff off the floor for her to cover her fake cloak and stuff.
Yeah, you go and reach for her cloak, and she like says, "I got it," and comes up and picks it up.
All right.
Kind of turns away modestly and puts on shirt and cloak. And I guess we'll see if it does anything. I've never done a bootleg version, so I've done different versions, but this one's the most fucked up. I normally magically imbue the needle, and it's usually smaller and makes it hurt a lot less. But now what are you gonna do?
As long as it works.
Only one way to find out, I guess. Rose goes and like flops down on this couch. I guess you guys can stay if you want, but I'm just waiting for Roshan to come back so I can bleach his hair.
He'll leave before that.
Okay. I mean that I assumed.
So do you just not want Roshan to see that your markings are cooler than his? Or is it that you don't want
Well-
anyone to see that?
Well,
Because you have more.
I mean Roshan's definitely stayed in the lines.
So?
Well, to be honest, they make me very strong. But it's a bit unwieldy when it is not contained within the lines. And it hurts. It hurts. It hurts really bad all the time. But I can't fix that much. But normally I try to hide it. It's not much of a concern in the East, but people still cringe at the sight. It's also on my face, so.
Well, you're in the East. So Wouldn't have to hide it here.
Well,
I get it.
yeah. He's already stressed out. He can't do anything. I show him how bad it is. Yeah, okay, shrug about it then. Russ is just kind of like standing in the space. Like, honestly, it seems very weird to lounge and chill with you, but also seems really weird to just be like, all right, goodbye after that. So Russ is kind of in a limbo space.
Just sit down, like pat the spot next to me. It's fine.
Then Russ comes and sits down awkwardly.
We can still be here. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Do you want to go?
No, I don't have anywhere to be.
So are we sending you back? Like somewhere? Are you gonna
Oh.
come with us? How are we doing that?
Well, I can set up a circle for me to get back. Where are you guys going?
Back to Jarlsbecker.
Okay.
Someone might want to go to the library at some point. I don't know.
Okay.
Not
I can't
me.
go to the library.
Me either.
mm, um, I'm not allowed to be on library grounds, even outside.
Oh, well, not there then.
But Jarlsbecker does have a teleportation circle, which would be easier, would be more straightforward to get me where I'm going if I go to Jarlsbecker with you, but I am able to get myself where I need to go.
Up
So
to you.
I'll see how I'm feeling. I'll see what happens.
You can stay here as long as you want.
Yeah, it's nice here. Yeah. I've been living in the city a bit, so the quiet is different.
I can imagine that. See, I was here for a really long time.
Mhm.
Didn't really ever go anywhere until a year ago when Keld and I started traveling. So that was very different.
It has to be
Opposite.
a pretty big shit.
But worthwhile.
Mm. Yeah,
Most of it.
yeah. I think the only way you can improve yourself and be the best version of yourself is if you experience more things, good and bad. That's the only way to fine tune yourself. And I need to be that.
Seem to be doing a fine job to me.
Well, I appreciate that.
We all do
I don't
things
know.
that we aren't happy about.
Yeah. I could make quite the list.
Gotta focus on the other list, though. The good things.
Mm. It's difficult sometimes when your list starts to become doing things that seem bad, but for a good reason. And I feel like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
You want to talk about it?
What hurts? particularly
Got it. No, it's fine.
right. Yeah, Roshan asked me a very, very important question and then immediately left to go get things for piss bleach,
Mm.
which seems right and wrong. So I guess it's in line with everything else. And I want to explain, but I didn't. And that seems right and wrong. But I don't feel like I'm existing in the middle of that right and wrong. I just don't know where I am.
Well, if he wants to know more, he'll ask when he gets back. I sent him kind of on a long trip around town to figure it out. To be honest, I only have a bottle of it in my room from when I was younger. But
See,
Yeah.
that would probably be pretty good, is like,
probably would be better, yeah.
yeah. Well, I guess we'll stumble through it.
Maybe it'll be
did it.
good for him.
Yeah, I did it before when I was younger. I kind of hid it under.
Mm.
It was like an under piece of hair. But it grew out a while ago. And you can see that Rose's hair is maybe once it was cut into the same style that Roshan's had been, but now it is more even. It is not an asymmetrical cut. It hangs close to the shoulders. But yeah.
Definitely make
Yeah.
sure you're the one messing with the bleach. I had him do this lip piercing and it was a real mess at the time. Like,
Oh,
it probably is
okay.
not the best to let him try to put bleach on himself.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Nana, you see Blue Hat James's house.
Cool, neat. All right. I guess taking a wide circle by Blue Hat James's house, she's not looking to eavesdrop. She is only looking to cross close enough to, I guess, hear if there's some screaming happening. And
So
if
you
not,
eavesdrop.
moving right on past.
Go ahead and roll me perception and stealth.
Okay.
Perception first.
Me Persepi. Oh, wow. Golly, Nana wants to perceive everything today, I guess. It's a 19 on the dice plus 14. 23. And then stealth.
I think that might be a higher number with like a 3 in front of it.
You're right, 33, because I'm
There you go.
very, very silly. And numbers are not my strong suit. Stealth. Blah, 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 blah. Less impressive on the dice, but still not the worst. That is a 17.
Nix, what's your passive perception?
20.
Okay.
Yep.
Russ, my sweet boy.
It's
Mhm.
probably the same.
Probably.
All 3 heads in this house
Snap
take
to
a
the door.
glance like this way and like out the window, and Nana's like, and I'm going
Yup.
she's like just real casual, but then you like glance because you can hear voices inside, and 3 sets of eyes look at you, and you clock 3 sets of eyes, and you're like,
Hi. And passing on through.
and Nana waves and walks.
I'm not here to hear anything. I'm just checking. Hi. Bye. I feel like Jillian might be frozen.
A little.
It's a good pose.
Oh, they both froze.
Oh no.
Nice.
Oh, it's the internet then. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate. Ooh,
Mm.
tis
Georgia got
hurricane
what?
season. The awkward was too high. The internet took a shit.
Oh, they're gone.
Bye.
everybody. Wow, another break. How fun. How lucky for you.
Hope you got a snack. Hope you got a drink. That was your
wow, we're
second chance. You
back.
won't be getting another.
Yeah, no more chances until this ends.
Ooh.
Then yeah, I guess you can have as many snacks and drinks as you want.
Yeah.
Uh anywho's a does it's.
Yeah.
I think we can jump back into things. Nix, you'd have a pretty good idea when Roshan would probably be getting back.
Mm.
So you're welcome to leave before that if you want.
Well, definitely leaving before that.
Okay. So you all head out from your probably near the end kind of quiet conversation. And Roshan, you are able to acquire the things that you need for the low cost of a gold piece.
Wow. He will tip extra like every time. Like he'll try and
Okay.
overpay unless anybody stops him.
Go ahead and give me another gold piece then.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
And then he'll get back and probably set a nice quaint little wicker basket filled with things. I don't see this as a single-use plastic community.
you're probably right. And if anybody needs to mute, you can go ahead and do that if you're not tough. I tried to be I tried to make it more casual. I was like, I guess if you want to mute yourself. Yeah.
But I think he'll set it down on the table in the small house, and before he mentions any of that, he'll just say, "I'm sorry that you were there and had to see that day. It was a bad day."
Yeah. But you and I saw it through very different lenses. I wanted to be there. I made sure I was there. I made sure that Sindri was there. Because Ave had to die. And I had to make sure it happened.
That was unfair of Ave.
Well, I could use a lot of very kind words for Ave. But for what we were doing, I don't think fairness gets to be one of them.
That day got me really fucked up. Your flunky Drepa lived long enough to give us just a little information before I pushed him in the fire.
Yeah, it's been a pain to try and replace Drepa. Piece of shit, but he was really good at what he did, and you can never find a second Russ. So it was a pain, I guess, for the hiring department. Because we still haven't replaced him yet. Y'all are lucky we didn't bring Russ, I guess. But we wouldn't have been able to do anything anyways. You couldn't hear, but I could. Their deal. under Gungnir, under the spear. Ave initiated. And he made him swear to kill him. But that he could not fell anyone else on the mountain. And Sindri agreed. And resulted in a back full of arrows, as the deal cannot be broken, as he turns his back to all of you and has to flee. And then we lose our sled. And then the frostbite that got him. It was a rough day for everybody, in whatever capacity.
Yeah. Um, I don't. It's hard to share because it sucks, but Ave said the night before that he always thought of us like children, like his children. And that was probably the cruelest thing he could have said as a goodbye. So I understand he's hard to talk about because even though he's problematic, I struggle not to trust him.
Ave? He was my father. I see it no other way. That other man was no such thing. And Ave is flawed and a hypocrite and hungry for power for whatever good reason he sees in it. But he is my father. And I love him and I trust him. And that's why I'm not done yet. Because I trust him and I love him.
Yes, that's why I'm not done too. And then I think Roshan will start getting the ingredients ready to start mixing.
Okay.
Apologize to a wooden spoon that he finds in Blue Hat James's house.
Yeah. After Rose takes like a second to compose herself, she's like, "Don't do that inside," and she walks outside. As you start to mix things together, she's like, outside. We're not in my house. No piss concoctions in my house," she says. But you two start working on that with the power of love and magic and science. I'm sure you guys can figure something out. Anybody else have anything they'd like to do during the day? Nana has gone to the stables. The rest of the day before the sun sets is your oyster.
I think so. During the day, I think Nyx will try to scry on people because she has a bad habit of doing it at night when she can't learn anything because it's dark or they're sleeping.
Weird. I can't see. That looks like a tent.
So we'll try to scry on Bosch.
Okay.
First.
Okay. You know Bosch, so that's a -5 to his roll.
Sounds right.
I don't think you have anything of his.
No, it's not a -5. First hand is just a 0. Because I've met him. It's -5
met
if I
him.
know him well.
Do you think you know him well? Well, I guess you've only really seen him
I
through
only
a
saw him
portal, I
once.
suppose.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
she
so
knows
he
Sunny
does-
better, but
Yeah, you know Sunny better. So no minuses to his roll.
correct.
Okay. Your DC is 19?
Might be 20.
I don't remember. It's high. All I know is that it's a very high number.
We actually have things attuned. Should be 20. Yeah, it's 20.
Okay. Can you tell me what it looks like when you attempt to scry?
Then she's gonna sit outside under this tree everyone's been hanging out by
Mm-hmm.
and pull out her pot, melt down the snow in it, and the lines of the spores under her skin start glowing this time as well when she puts her face in. So it's now just every time she uses magic, they're very present. She'll put her face in and hope it works, because these people have been a pain in the neck to scry on.
I will tell you straight up for Bosch, it is going to be a 50-50 chance.
Nice.
That is where it sits. Is basically a 50-50 chance.
Well, we trying.
All right. That's Russ's dice, silly. Bosch's dice.
Yeah.
All right. You've all been rolling very bad recently. Of course, I can't see. You gotta catch the light through it. Okay. Nyx, you begin to move up the stream. Nyx, do you think there's anything different about it? Is there different about the stream that you travel?
I think it might be calmer now. Because
Okay.
I think it was a little more hectic before with associations with the lurk and not really understanding her connection to that river before, and now it's more. Oh, okay. I know it's going. She understands everything a bit better.
Okay. You move up a slow moving river. And you leave Demwoods. And you travel out across the continent. And you're outside. There's the shade of a tree. There's snow on the ground. There are bevels in the dirt and snow where the roots of the tree would once have been visible. And you see a man. You see a man outside in the snow, wearing no clothes. He is sitting on his knees with his face pressed into the soil, his fingers dug past the ice and into the dirt. You can see where his spine protrudes out of his back. He looks gaunt. He looks frail. You can see one hand that digs in, and another nowhere to be seen. You can see the blue veins of his body. You can see slight, gaunt features of his face. You can see how pale his feet look from who knows how long he has been sitting in this position. He looks near frozen, near statuesque, but there is the occasional draw of breath. Slow and heavy. And you can see, placed on the ground above his head, is something wrapped in a burlap fabric, held closed with twine. Something about a little over a foot long. And you can see stains where dark ichor has bled through. And he has his head buried before it. And he sits there, stoic and unmoving. You can imagine the pain he is experiencing because you have experienced the cold. And he sits there. Is there anything particular you're looking for?
Anything to try and piece together general area that he might be in on the continent? Like,
Mm-hmm.
she's traveled a good bit of this half.
Yeah.
So,
You can go ahead and give me a perception check.
that's a dirty 20.
Okay. You think he is in a similar location to you. It seems to be the same time, is your assumption. He is outside, and you listen, and you don't hear the sounds of community. You don't hear the sounds of people going about their lives or the sound of cart wheels on cobblestone. You don't even really hear the sound of animals. It is incredibly quiet here.
It's no big water rushing nearby either.
You don't hear any water. And there is some shade from trees. You can see the shadow of shade on his body and the ground around him. But it is just incredibly still and quiet. Nyx, there is a sensation you feel like you're staring at a corpse. It is unnerving.
I think she'd stay for the full time just to see if
Mhm.
anybody does show up, that she might be able to get more information just from them saying anything.
Mm-hmm. Nyx, would you roll me a luck check?
18.
Okay. And you wait, watching this barely moving corpse lay near prostrate on the ground before this item and this tree with his fingers dug into the dirt. And you hear something. He's speaking. You hear Bosch's voice, and it is raspy and broken. The sound of a person who has not had anything to drink in some time, a person who has not spoken words in some time. You gave me this chance. Just tell me what to do with it. Once. One sign. One blink. Show me. Show me. And then quiet as his fingers tighten on the soil. And you go back through the river and are back under the tree. You realize as you straighten up, you had also been kneeling in a very similar position before a tree.
I think she'd sit and process that for a moment,
Mhm.
put it aside, and then
Yep.
go back to her other job that she promised she would try to find this archer.
Okay.
Do not know how to pronounce the name at all.
That's okay. I am
Remain.
actually going to give
Oh.
this archer bonuses because
I don't
the
know 'em.
information you have is near nothing.
I know
So
a
I'm giving
possible
them.
name.
I'll let her use Russ's dice.
Aw.
So I'm going to give her a bonus. Okay. And once again, you begin to make your way up a calm river. And the waters get a bit rough. And it's as if you came to the base of a waterfall and you are unable to traverse it. Something has blocked you, and you are pushed away and are unable to scry on this person at this moment. Rolled a lot better than Bosch did.
That's fine. Bosch was technically more important at the moment.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Not scry on anyone else at the moment because she's unsure if she has to send people anywhere.
Hmm.
So we're waiting.
Anybody else for today?
Well, I
Well,
think that
Nick's processes.
actually I did think probably like after a while, once Nana was sure that Thick Biscuit had gotten good oats and a good brushing through, and she just sort of chatted to them for a bit, processing the fact that she doesn't seem to have the grasp of being able to speak to Thick Biscuit and understand them anymore. Well, she's been processing that as well. But eventually, I think she finishes up taking care of Thick Biscuit and then probably like goes to leave. And I feel like as she's heading back in the direction of the Ladle's house, Nyx was by the tree that people have been
Yep.
hanging out by next to the Ladle's house.
The outside the house tree, yes.
The outside the house tree.
The one
Crying
everyone's-
tree that's right
Yeah.
outside the house that we all cry at when we need to
Yeah.
cry.
The crying tree. We
Yeah.
have one in every town.
Yes.
Yeah. So then I think easy peasy Nana probably like spots Nyx and gives her a little wave. And it probably notices the pot. Been scrying?
Yeah. The one worked, the other didn't. I'll update everybody what I saw with Bosch.
Oh. Oh,
Nothing too helpful, but
okay.
maybe.
He's not dead then. Not keeled over.
Close, but no.
Hmm. I don't know if that's good or not.
We'll
Mm,
find out. Did
I
Did
guess.
you need something? You're just going for another walk.
Well, I rather wanted to ask if whether or not you might be if I think that I may try to make my way over to the library. If not today, then maybe tomorrow. Depends on whether or not anyone else has an urgent desire to go. But
Mhm.
I certainly don't want to ask you along just for you to just sit outside.
Could put a scrying in the ring.
It's true.
Sorry, sending.
I was gonna
hard.
say a scrying would be
Scrying the
interesting, but I'm not sure
yeah.
it'd get your attention
Right.
unless you notice the bobble weaving around. But yeah. I think I might wind up doing that. I was sort of waiting to see whether or not things seemed urgent for us to do otherwise, but seems as though.
Do you need to go? I can send you today. Just let me know when you want to come back.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
paper cutout of Fen slowly starts like lifting into frame.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And T poses in the back of the scene, being in
Ben
the
said
space to
that
hear this.
he was going to assist me with that. That is factual.
Ben moves closer and is here on the scene as a
Fantastic.
little cutout piece.
Amazing.
I'll send you through a tree. You just gotta go get a sending from somebody.
Well, all right. Well, you all saw me as I was genuinely just trying to make sure that everything seemed okay between the lot of you, because I knew that Roshan had gone on a bit before you. Everything okay with Rose?
Yeah, Rose was fine.
Okay.
Roshan's dyeing his hair, I guess.
He did mention that over breakfast. Yeah, he's actually going through with it then.
Seems like it.
I'm not going near him. The last time anybody tried dyeing hair, I couldn't get the smell of it out of my nose for days. So, more power to him. I hope he has fun. But, think I'd just as rather be at the library while he's up to that. Huh.
I don't know where
Anyway.
you can get a sending from that
I guess you'll
doesn't
get it
smell
from
like
one of
this.
them.
That's true. Oh, he's already started. Oh well, I'll have to suffer through for a little bit. All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate it, Nyx.
Yeah. I'll be either here or inside once you've got it.
All right. Thank you. And Nana will trot along and see about acquiring sending in a ring and doing a little hopping back.
Okay, you go to acquire sending. Keld, anything of note?
Not necessarily of note. I feel like whenever the party starts heading back, they'll probably find him dozing.
Aw.
Keld is taking the time to vibe. Keld, would you roll insight for me?
21.
Okay. Something. Now that you're over the, high adrenaline of the forest, and even the time after arriving back in Demwoods after, and all of these important conversations and all of these activities and the wedding, and you're just taking a moment now to relax, and something feels off. Starts as just like a little inkling, a little sensation. Something is off. Something is wrong.
Like that feeling.
And it's just a sensation that like rests heavy on your chest. And when you kind of like dig in and you go through your thoughts of what could it be? What's wrong? Well, what's wrong? You are fully in the dark. While a man who plans to eradicate the continent is off doing whatever, whenever, however. And you are laying on a couch in the town you love. But that's not protecting them, is it? That's not protecting anyone, as nice as it is, as important as it is to take a break and a moment. They're not safe. Nobody's safe. And the sensation you are feeling is your oath. You are not protecting the light. You're not allowed to rest. And you don't know if that's forever. But right now, your oath feels a bit thin, a bit neglected. Kindnesses have been done. Love has been spread through the community. And that means nothing if they all die. But you gave a timeline. But boy, does it feel awful now that you can actually think about it.
Just one more day of suffering.
Well, thinks to himself as he lays in his childhood home on a comfortable couch next to a warm fire and suffers. Nana, you arrive on the scene of Roshan with like a towel around his shoulders and Rose using like mage hand to like slap some sort of concoction onto his head from like a bit of a distance. Like there's a good yard between them as she's like just slapping this concoction onto his head. Hey.
That looks a lot more efficient than the last time you tried that. Using the mage hand.
Yeah, it helps with some things. Maybe not. But we're not doing highlights and just slapping.
If you're going for overall coverage, you haven't got to be real finicky with your lines. It's fine. I only wanted to know if I might be able to get a sending perhaps from Roshan. I was thinking I might pop over to the library today since we've got not very long before we need to be back in Jarlsbecker.
Yeah, of course. Roshan will hold his hand out for the ring and then cast a sending spell into it when he has it, and then give it back.
Thank you.
Are you just going to? Do you have any way of meeting us in Jarlsbecker, or are you going to?
I'm gonna use this to communicate with Nyx. She's gonna send me through a tree over to the library, and then when I'm done over there, I'll send to her, and she can bring me back. And should be just a single day thing. I don't expect to be days and days.
Well, be prudent, as Snotra would appreciate.
That's kind of the point. That's what I hope, anyway. Yeah.
So I guess
Prudence must also demand, I should ask, is there anything in particular I could look up a book for you about? Can't guarantee I'd be able to look up anything of significant note, but I don't know, if there's a chart you want, a single book you want found, or something, I could make sure I look into that.
I don't think they'll let you take them
Mm.
from the library, but
I can take
They
some
don't. They
notes.
get mad when you do that. Rose
I-
continues to slap this concoction onto your head.
That was what I'd heard, yeah.
I don't have any specific questions for the library. Rose?
Nope. I'm content with my knowledge currently.
All right.
Keep slapping Roshan's bald head.
Yeah, probably doesn't need to, but just continues to do so.
Mm-hmm. I will leave you both to it, but thank you again.
We could do your hair. There's enough.
Oh, that's so kind. That's so generous. Nana's already leaving. Oh, but look at this time. Look at the sun. I've got to go, or else it'll be too late, and it'll be dark by the time I've done. Bye.
And like a hard slap with the mage hand of like makes like a little magical hand imprint. I guess we let it sit.
Yeah.
Or we could set it on fire, I suppose.
Well, I think it would work faster if we did that. But then it might also burn all of the hair off.
Mm. Um, if we go find like a piece of armor or a shield or something, and I could heat it up, and you could like sit under it.
I'm fine waiting.
Okay. And sit with piss on your head as long as you want to. It's none of my business.
Sunbathe.
Roshan will just give her the finger, and then we'll get out his rock and start working on that while he processes.
Okay. Nana, you have a sending. You're able to go back to Nyx, and you can go to the library if you're so inclined.
Matter of fact, I am. Yeah. I will do that there do-si-do and be very grateful.
You
Uh,
had my spell slot.
And my
Nyx, where do you
axe.
put her?
Probably the tree that I spent that whole day drinking under.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're very
From the
familiar with
crying
it.
I'm very
tree to
familiar
the
with it.
drinking tree.
Yeah.
It's a very direct line.
All of my
Yeah.
important trees.
Yeah. A door opens up in this tree to a bright, snowy, cobblestoned courtyard, and you are able to step through, followed by the paper cutout of Fen,
Cool.
that walks through. You are once again standing at the entrance of this beautiful white stone building with this this design, this display, this carving of Snotra lounged at the front, quill in hand, words and runes covering the building in its entirety. And you are welcome to go inside. You can see that the place is
Surrounded by something and also lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And also Wi-Fi troubles. It's stormy down in Georgia.
Right.
The East Coast, all up and down along here, y'all. We're getting some bad ones.
I don't know if they have fully lost power, but it may be a great time to finish up. It is about time.
It's true.
And we don't know when our we got the go ahead to wrap it all up. So thanks
Okay.
everybody for tuning into the Dice Cult. You
Mhm.
can find us every Monday here at 8, and we are now hosting a vampire game on Saturdays at 9 Eastern time or 10 Eastern time.
Yeah.
No, 9 Eastern time.
9. It's new. It's
9.
Saturdays. 9.
9.
9 o'clock.
9
It's
Eastern
on my
time.
calendar.
It's a
Yeah.
in
great
front of me.
time. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great week.
And buy some of Katie's dice.